Hey, this is 𝗙𝗏𝘀𝗶. I'm super glad that you're here. So today I want to talk about something that I haven't heard too many people talk about before. I was just shooting a video for one of our courses, and I realized this is a little bit more advanced and it's beyond the scope of the course that I'm trying to create right now. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and definitely subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell so you'll be notified every time we put out new content, and it helps us and we super appreciate that. I have been plant-based for almost 10 years and I don't want to get into my whole story, but if you didn't know, I lost over 200 pounds. But more importantly, I got rid of a ton of chronic diseases. My blood pressure was out of control. My cholesterol was super high. And I was on a bunch of medicines. And all these stuff cleared up as soon as I started eating a whole food, plant-based diet. And I know there's a ton of videos already out there on calorie density. And that's actually what I was doing this lesson on for my course. And I noticed something, like it's so easy to tell people how this whole calorie density thing works. Basically, you eat to the right side of the left side of the line, try to avoid or eliminate the things on the right side. And by default, nature's kind of already got it figured out for us that you'll be in a calorie deficit. And on top of that, you'll have a lot of nutrient density with your diet. So basically the gist of it is eat food, eat plants in their wholest form. And everything will kind of take care of itself, which is great. And I lost a lot of weight doing that. And especially at over 400 pounds, the weight kind of just fell off me. And it went pretty quick. Within a year, I would say I had lost most of my weight already. But through the years, I have kind of gained some weight back, lost some weight, gained it back depending on my activity levels. And for the past almost year, I haven't been really active because of some recovery stuff that I'm going through with some physical stuff. But I've been kind of sidelined. And food has become way more important with my weight loss or maintenance of my weight loss. And I just wanted to share something really quickly because I get frustrated sometimes. And this is kind of a cool way to look at it. But the problem for me, I've been whole food plant-based, like I say, for the better part of a decade. And so I've learned this really well. And but this is my problem. The nuts and the seeds. And part of the reason why I have a huge problem with this is because I know that broccoli and cauliflower and greens and oats and fruit and potatoes, they are all very nutrient dense foods. They're lower in calorie density. And when I get to the right side of the calorie density chart, things like cheese, cookies, chips, butter, oil, they're pretty much void of nutrients, right? And they're higher calorie, except for one line on the chart, and that's nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds have amazing properties. They're packed with nutrition, but they're also packed with fat, and they're also packed with calories. And that's what I want to talk about really quickly today, because I know I have a problem with nuts and seeds. And you could say that nuts and seeds kind of became my new fast food, where before it was hamburgers, french fries, and that kind of thing. Now kind of nuts and seeds have kind of taken that place of the fast food, which kind of sounds weird, but I can stop at a gas station and find, almonds and cashews just about everywhere. So let's talk about nuts and seeds. So when we look at cashews, which happens to be my favorite, and that's why I put them first, a quarter cup of cashews is 188 calories. And so when you think about a quarter cup, this is a quarter cup. It's basically a handful. I have bigger hands, but it's a medium-sized handful of cashews. 188 calories. Sounds kind of harmless, even though you do realize that they're mostly calories from fat. The next thing is peanuts. I love peanuts. Again, quarter cup is 207 calories. Now, peanuts are a little heavier, a little denser, but there again, a quarter cup is just this. It's a small handful or medium handful. Seeds, that's another thing. I love seeds. I can get seeds just about everywhere. And what I'm referring to is raw seeds. So these don't even have oil or salt or anything. These are just the raw seeds. Again, 204 calories in a quarter cup of seeds. Sunflower seeds. And then we have pumpkin seeds. I also love pumpkin seeds. So these four things are kind of like my favorites. I do like walnuts and hazelnuts and Brazil nuts and those type of things. But these four things I kind of eat quite a bit of. And I wanted to show you some numbers to put behind this so I can help myself understand. And hopefully when I see this on, I guess you could say, paper, maybe it will help you as well. So if we look at these, we have 188, 207, 205. We can basically say that all these things have kind of an average of 200 calories per quarter cup. Okay, so that's great. So I don't know about you, but I am a food addict. I didn't get to be 400 pounds by going easy on food. Like, obviously, I had a problem and I still have a problem. It's just kind of changed the way it looks. So I'm going to say that if I have a bag of cashews in my vehicle, that it's going to be super hard for me to eat 1/4 cup and put the bag away. I might tell myself that I can, but actually I'm going to keep reaching into that bag, probably until the bag's gone. But just for this, let's just say that I don't do that. Let's just say that realistically, instead of eating this 1/4 cup, that I actually eat 1 cup. So it would be 4 kind of medium-sized handfuls. And I think that's kind of realistic. I don't know many people that can have 1 palmful of cashews and stop there unless that's all they have. Maybe I'm weird. I don't really know. But in any event, let's just go with 200 calories per 1/4 cup times 4 will give you a cup. Let's say that on average, these things have 800 calories per cup. Now, when you look at it, it's still not that much, right? It's not that much. Again, I have bigger hands. I could fit, 2 handfuls in here easy. And going back to the calorie density, which that's not what we're doing, but if we were, I could say that this 800 calorie cup, these potatoes, this whole bowl of potatoes, actually has the same calories. And again, that goes back to the calorie density. What if you already have that figured out, though? I already know this. I've been doing this a long time. I already realize that I can have all these potatoes. It's going to fill up my stomach more than this cup of cashews. So what if we already know that? And that's kind of how we already eat. That's where I am. But I still enjoy to have the nuts and seeds as kind of a snack. Well, here's what happens. Let's say that I do this 5 days a week, okay? Let's say I'm good for 2 days of the week, but there's 5 days where I stop at a gas station, or we have nuts and seeds in the house, or we happen to have a restaurant where we buy cashews actually in 50-pound boxes. So it's not too hard for me to 5 days a week just grab 2 handfuls of cashews or seeds, or a mix. Maybe I'll have a handful of sunflower seeds and then a handful of cashews. Maybe it's almonds. Maybe it's in the form of peanut butter. That even gets worse because it's so much more dense. So let's say I put some peanut butter on some Ezekiel bread in the morning, and I toss a couple handfuls of sunflower seeds and or cashews. I'm up to 4,000 calories per week. Now, this probably isn't a big deal if you're actually taking those calories off from your original diet or your original daily calories, but that's not what happens for me. I know what it takes to eat. I eat about 4 or 5 pounds of food, and on the calorie density chart, I stay where I can maintain my weight without being too active. But once I do that, if I start adding a cup of nuts or seeds just 5 days a week, watch what happens. I got 4,000 extra calories at the end of the week, which means I have a 4,000 calorie surplus. It's a big deal, but we'll live with it until you realize that if you do that 4 weeks in a row, you're at 16,000 calories. They sounds insane, and I'm sure someone's going to complain about these numbers, but just go with this for a minute. This is just a hypothetical situation, and I'm sure there's a lot of other factors, but 16,000 calories extra, right, in a month. And if you do that for the whole year, you end up with 192,000 calories. That is insane to me. That is insane. But here's the thing: if you know that 3,500 calories are in 1 pound, and you do the math, so you divide 3,500 into the 192, you end up with 54.9 pounds of surplus in a year. It doesn't sound possible, but if you do the math, I checked these numbers a bunch of times. If you do the math, just by eating 1 cup extra of cashews 5 days a week through the year, you end up with we'll call it a 55-pound weight gain, because you're in calorie surplus. You have too many calories for your body to burn. It can't keep them up. It can't burn them all up, so it stores them as fat. That's very sobering to me, because I don't feel like it's a big deal. I don't feel like it's a big deal. And even if you cut that in half, if you want to, even if you cut that in half and you just have 2 small handfuls of cashews, or even 1, spoonful of peanut butter on some Ezekiel toast, it adds up if you're in surplus. Now, obviously, if you take away and don't eat these 5 big potatoes, and instead of eating the 5 potatoes, you have the cup of cashews, you're obviously not going to get in a surplus. But the point is, it's a lot easier to go into a calorie surplus eating delicious cashews or pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds. And that's the point of all this. When you actually see how the numbers work, and you actually see that 35 calories, extra calories, will put a pound on you, it's a pretty sobering thing. So I just wanted to share with you, because I get frustrated, and if I really am honest with myself and I really understand where these extra calories are coming from, it doesn't take long for these cashews and these seeds to add up. And it doesn't feel like I'm eating all these pounds of cashews, but over time, a couple handfuls a week, if you were to put them in a big bin instead of eating them, you'd realize that you're eating quite a bit of them. These things tend to sneak in, these little things. Even, I hate to keep going back to the peanut butter, but peanut butter is so addictive for me. And I'll put some peanut butter on bread or whatever, and then I always put a little extra on there so I can, clean the knife or the spoon off with my tongue, put it in the dishwasher. And here's the thing: if you do that enough, those calories can really add up, and it can really be this extra weight. So I hope this helped you. It actually shocked me when I figured it out. And I just wanted to say really quickly, we have a pretty big page, but we've been having a whole lot of fun in our new Fat Man's Plant-Based community group. There's a lot of like-minded people, so if you're really into plant-based eating, whole food plant-based eating, it's a great place to exchange ideas and connect with like-minded people. We love to have you there. I will put the link in the description. And once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the little bell for us, because we really appreciate it. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you next time.